Guys, welcome to another episode of Thoughts of a Rambling Mind. Now, this episode, I'm going to be talking about change. No, change is always a good thing, and a lot of times our people don't consider change to be a good thing. We get stuck in our own way of doing things, and a lot of the youth have a real hard-headed way of looking at things, and I understand that because I was youth too. And when I was young, I didn't believe that I should have to change who I am in order to be accepted as equal, and the reason I believe that is because America preaches that, America preaches that we are all equal and we all are to be considered equally, and that's in its doctrine. But the reality of it is that's not true. America is a country, and this country has rules and principles, but America is a country that is made up of people, and people have natural tendencies. And the natural tendency of people is to be able to look at someone and make a judgment, whether it be a judgment for the good or bad, they look at them and they make a judgment. So the topic today is change, and the reason why I want to talk about change is because I used to walk out in the street every day with the typical look, and when I say typical look, I mean, jeans sagging, regular sneakers on, braids, cornrows, hair in, hair out. I used to like the way it looked, actually the more rugged, the better for me. And I realize now, as I knew then, but wasn't wise or smart enough to really understand the ramifications, is that not only does the way you dress affect how people perceive you, but it also affects how you perceive yourself. A perfect example, if you take a girl and you put a dress on her, her activities for the day will change. Right? You put a pair of pants or some jeans on her, and she might be running around. You put a dress on her, and all of a sudden her behavior becomes a little bit more dainty, a little bit more ladylike. And the reason for that is because clothes, just like words, are art. Fashion is art. And clothes will dictate your mood if you let them. And if they won't dictate your mood, they will dictate perception. That being said, if you walk out in the street with the uniform of a police officer, you can't be offended if someone calls you an officer. Also, if you walk out in the street in the uniform of a criminal, you can't be offended if someone treats you as such. What is the uniform of a criminal? Well, let me tell you from personal experience. When you are arrested in the United States of America and you go into the prison system, they remove your shoelaces and they remove your belt for fear of hanging yourself or using it as a weapon against another inmate. When that happens, your pants, they fall, they sag. Now, I've heard rumor that this style is also to promote your homosexual status to other inmates. I believe there is truth in that, but I don't believe that is the only reason why men sag their pants. I don't believe that is the only origin of it. I believe that is one of the reasons why sagging came about, but it definitely came about because the belts were removed. And when the gangsters came home from jail with their belts, without their belts, and they would walk around with their pants low, it was an even more rugged look. So when I say, when you dress in the uniform of a criminal, understand that I mean you are literally dressing in a criminal's uniform by sagging your pants. Nothing wrong with taking on someone else's style. I don't believe there is a problem. If you want to take on the style of anyone else. You could wear ski goggles one day, you could wear a skater outfit one day, and if you so choose, you can wear a criminal's outfit on any day of the week you want. But just remember that it is a criminal's uniform, and when someone addresses you as such, if you're not a criminal, then it's very important that what comes out of your mouth reflects the fact that you're not a criminal, so that they can understand that you're just wearing a uniform. All right. Another thing is for the girls, it goes the same. If you dress like a prostitute or a hooker, or if you dress like a girl who doesn't have too high values when it comes to her body, you can't be upset if someone approaches you that way. The lack of respect that females have for themselves in these days is startling. You women are our futures, and I really don't want to talk to the ladies, but I will say right now, I will say one thing, and the one thing that I will say is that when a man walks up to you and says, "Damn, ma, you got a fat ass," or anything sexual in nature, understand, yes, he likes you. Yes, he likes what he's seeing. Yes, he's interested. But he does not respect you enough to approach you in a way that a respectable lady would be approached. There are women who cannot be approached that way. And he knows that, and he would not approach those women in that way. The question is, what about you is making him realize, not think, but realize that he can approach you in that way? Whenever a man approaches you, ladies, in a way that is disrespectful, in a way that you don't like, I guarantee you there's a message, there's an energy that you are giving off. There's an underlying thing that we as men naturally pick up. So if you find yourself being hollered at in the worst ways, you probably need to change something about yourself. That was a random thought, my mind rambles. Back to the guys, I'll leave you with this final note. There's nothing wrong with change. Do yourself a favor. Go out, buy you a suit. Just one. Buy your suit. Do it proper too. Go get you the shoes, flat bottoms. Go get you some black socks, dress socks. Put a tie on. Get a fresh haircut. Shape up. And walk outside and watch the difference in the way people perceive you. And watch the difference in the way you perceive yourself. Watch how your walk changes, how your back straightens up, how your shoulders go back, your chest pushes out. You have the stance of pride when you dress with pride, and realize that the way you were dressing before is cool on occasion. It's okay to be rough on occasion, but you shouldn't live and you shouldn't thrive in the sewer, in the gutter. All right? Thoughts of a rambling mind. Until next time.